luckiest of siblings. Collagen-obsessed wannabes spending thousands on fake tits and trout pouts to grotesquely turn themselves from looker to hooker. Another Hollywood Z-lister telling the world how she'd shifted the baby weight mere minutes after cutting the umbilical cord, blah, blah, blah. Words and pictures, but none of it wormed its way into Amy's psyche. She had no room. It was still full of her own horrific headlines, the tragic leading stories of her own personal blog, headlines of heartache. Before, her world had been full of glamour-packed, pap-flashing celebrity soundbites about the popular idols of the day, movie stars like Gosling, Tatum, Redmayne and Efron. The hotties tearing up Hollywood with their poster boy looks and million-dollar pay demands, or the latest vacuous TV talent judge spouting nonsense about her heartfelt quest to find the next 5-minute wonder. Stars that not so long ago she would have done anything to entice into her laser-lit nightclub world. Back when she was strong, self-assured. When life seemed to have a purpose. Amy had switched from the TV to radio, as she often did these days, hoping the songs she heard would transport her to places she longed to revisit, but feared she never could. Pharrell, Sia, Kanye, as well as homegrown talent like George Ezra, Florence and the Machine and Paloma Faith. She'd been part of their scene, at the epicentre of what was current, and they had been part of Amy's, keen to hang at the trendiest of haunts. As joint owner of the UK's most respected new night spot, the Kitty Cat Club, Amy had been the queen bee at the honeypot, to which they flew, clocking up air miles from around the globe to be seen in the VIP area of choice. But that was then. It was only when she flicked off the radio that late November morning that she heard the sound. The swoosh of the letterbox and the gentle slap of an envelope as it landed at her front door. Real post had been infrequent lately, an increasing sign of the 21st century. In a world of emails, tweets and shared Facebook statuses, an actual handwritten letter was rarer than a footballer who could keep his cock in his pants. Amy was used to huge amounts of junk mail, offers of free casino memberships and kebab shops for the South London borough she now attempted to call home, but an actual handwritten envelope that was addressed personally to her, no, that was rare. It had been the handwritten envelope that first grabbed Amy's attention. The Christmas stamp featuring a donkey and shepherd had momentarily caused Amy to smile, transporting her to Christmases past. Then she saw the postmark, which read, Manchester, her former home. This reminder of a life she had tried to forget when she'd headed south had wiped the smile away in a second. She'd stared at the handwriting for what seemed like minutes. In reality, it couldn't have been more than a few seconds. The curling of the letters and the looping of the numbers sparked thoughts inside her brain. There was something comforting about them. Yet a vein of dreaded doubt ignited and ran through her. Why? What was stopping her from just ripping the letter open and reading the contents? Why the fear? Who's it from? She'd pretty much cut herself off since it had happened. Since she'd disappeared for her own sanity. Taking the letter to the kitchen, she sat down, her legs like jelly, and began to tear at the flap of the envelope. The letter inside was handwritten too. Her tears had started by the end of the first paragraph. So had the trembling. As she read through word after word, chilling her to the bone, her skin pricking into goosebumps, she tried to take in what was written on the page. It seemed impossible. Something incomprehensible, like from one of those TV shows, an X-Files or a Sherlock. There was no explanation for it. But there had to be. Fruitlessly wiping away her tears as they snaked down her nose and dripped onto the letter, she scanned her eyes to the date at the top of the page. There was no address, but the date was clear, the 26th of November. 2 days ago. She checked the date on the envelope's postmark. It said the same. Amy hesitated before looking at the signature at the bottom of the letter again. She'd read it once, but maybe she'd been mistaken. Maybe her crazy mind was playing tricks on her. God knows it had been through enough.